Special Counsel Jack Smith is speaking publicly for the very first time about his investigations into Donald Trump, defending his team and his prosecutors and saying it's ludicrous to say the investigations of the president were politically motivated.
The just incredible high level of integrity and competence and willingness to sacrifice of the people who do this work. And I'm talking about the people I worked with in the special counsel's office. But the Department of Justice in the U.S., the FBI, are filled with people like this. And these are people who are not self-promoters. They do not like to tell their own story. They cannot start a sentence with I. They start that with we. These are team players who don't want anything but to do good in the world. They're not interested in politics. And I get very concerned when I see how easy it is to demonize these people for political ends, when these are the very sort of people I think we should be celebrating.
All right, that is Jack Smith speaking to Andrew Weissman at University College London. Joining us now, MSNBC Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Dilanian. Tell us a little bit more about what Jack Smith said.
This was a remarkable and really newsy interview with Jack Smith, the first time he's spoken out. As somebody who's covered these investigations for a long time, I never heard him say more than a few canned lines from a prepared statement. And he made news on two fronts. One, he spoke to and explained some of the decisions he made in his investigations. And secondly, he commented on what's going on right now at the Justice Department. He said, we haven't seen anything like this before. But in terms of, he was asked about, for example, on the classified documents investigation, why did he bring charges against Donald Trump when another special counsel, Robert Hur, failed to charge Joe Biden, who had classified documents in his house? And he said it's simple. The facts were starkly different. And he said we had a lot of evidence of obstructive conduct by Donald Trump. And we had, he said, tons of evidence of willfulness, meaning he could prove that Donald Trump intended to take those documents and hide them from investigators. He also spoke to this question of why he moved forward with the prosecutions of the former president, the then former president, even as an election was looming. You know, he's being accused of violating the Hatch Act. He's being investigated by this administration. He said, look, it's not just a defendant who is entitled to a speedy trial. The public was entitled to a speedy trial, to the resolution of these huge questions. And so we went forward according to the law. He spoke to this issue of senators who said that they were spied on and wiretapped because his team obtained their calling records. He said, look, we got permission. We followed all the Justice Department rules to obtain those records. In terms of commenting on what's been going on in the Justice Department, one thing I found striking is he went back to that Signal chat where the war plans were discussed between Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and the former National Security Advisor and a bunch of other people on Signal. He said there is no administration in the history of this country, Democrat or Republican, that wouldn't have opened a criminal investigation of what happened there because there were security, national state secrets put at risk, put in the public domain. And obviously the Trump Justice Department did not investigate that. And he went on to essentially criticize what he views as the politicization of the Trump Justice Department and the demonization of public servants. You heard a little flavor of that there. He went on. He actually grew emotional at one point, talking about an FBI agent who had worked on his team. And we've talked about it on the air before, a man named Walt Giardina, who was fired by the FBI days after his wife died of cancer. And Jack Smith's voice cracked as he talked about this. This is a man that is really deeply concerned, not just for himself and how he's been demonized, but what's happened to the Justice Department, where he served for years as an apolitical public servant whose name no one knew, Katie.